But for 13 years, I haven't thought about it. A day?
Sarah Vargas. Carrie Gordon.
Here.
Ken Marlette. Here. Brandon Gordon. Here. Dave Moore. Here. Approval agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, all in favor.
Aye.
Community forum.
I have a couple of questions.
Go for it.
Do you want both questions or do you want to like answer?
We can multitask.
Oh, jeez.
Alright, I've just noticed that with the resignation of several teachers that the postings are being added, seems like right away to Facebook and the website except industrial tech. So I'm wondering what the plan is for next year for industrial tech classes across the whole like junior high school.
I can answer that one for you. We have a staff member who actually we're going to be moving up to full-time here later on in the agenda, who's going to take on the industrial tech responsibilities. So the program is still going to operate and still implement.
Question.
That was one.
You mentioned over the last couple of meetings that you've used some of the different consultants from the AEA, the literacy consultant, the math consultant, and the science consultant. Have you decided if you're going to continue to partner with the AEA on media and gen ed?
I can say that we're waiting for the fee-for-service menu, for lack of a better word, to come out. And that's really going to drive our decisions.
And do you buy your technology through the technology consortium through the AEA?
We buy our technology through Grantwood. And I believe Grantwood and Great Bird are going to partner on technology next year. Okay. I think I heard some conversation about that.
Anyone else? Okay. Approval minutes. Second. Motion second, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of bills for payment.
Make a motion to approve the bills.
Second. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Financial report, $5,216,599.69.
So moved. Go ahead,
Make
Dave.
motion to approve financial report.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Students of the month.
Why don't we hear after that case now? That made him show up.
A little embarrassing then.
He didn't want to, but it's
On when I came over.
couple junior high kids that come too.
Nothing yet. Come back to it. Alright, reports, maintenance.
Alright.
Yes,
Robinson, did you send me any? No. It's unfortunate. Sorry about that, guys.
Steve.
Right, just a few things, some accommodations that happened, last month after, well, we didn't have, I think it's the same time as the board meeting, but, results from the Southeast Iowa Super Conference Art Show, this is Joe, took some kids there for a workshop, and they also had an art show at the same time, but we did have 4 place winners, and the arts around the room here. First place in pen and ink was Bristol Wiley, first place in print making was Chloe Cardoff. Third place in ceramics was Brendan Stevens, and honorable mention in photography was Ian Davidson.
Can I interrupt you for a second, Steve? Shannon, would you go in that room? There's a ceramic piece that was far too fragile for us to just have sitting out. You want to please bring it up?
It's a good art.
No pressure. It was on the table and they were bringing toast crumbs back and that just wasn't going to go.
It's really cool, though. It's very, very cool.
Gabe, I'm putting it by you.
No, it's really off balance.
It's off
so,
balance,
yeah.
she just.
Yeah, so gaze upon it.
Okay,
And
don't
then
take
put
it
it
back.
Thank you, Hannah.
Awesome. Thank you, Shannon.
Then just some things we have coming up over the next, schools wind down pretty quickly in the next couple of weeks. I think I mentioned this last month, but baccalaureate was going to be held on Wednesday, May 15th, so a week from tonight at 5:30. Trying something new this year to Wapello, they are going to post that and put on the program. Josh Elsher and some of his kids. Also that same night, following the baccalaureate, we're going to have awards night for the class of 2024. That'll start at 7 o'clock in the auditorium. And then earlier that same day, we hold our annual senior breakfast at 7:30 in the library. The last day for the seniors will be Thursday, May 16th. Then we have graduation practice on the 17th at 9 o'clock. Then graduation itself will actually take place on that Sunday, May 19th at 2 o'clock in the practice gym. Then our third annual move-up day is going to take place on Thursday, May 23rd, the last full day of school. That's when the 5th graders will come over that day as well for a full day. And then our annual awards day for students in grades 6-12 will be held starting roughly at 8:30 on Thursday, May 23rd. So fast approaching some of those things. That's it.
Questions?
All right, my report is in front of you. The first thing I want to do is draw attention to the fact that May is School Board Appreciation Month. IASB has sent us certificates of appreciation to you. It does not begin to acknowledge all of the time and the effort and the headaches that you have to deal with as school board members, but please accept my gratitude and the gratitude of everybody else who's connected with the school for all of the work that you do. So thank you for that. I have an update on our ADA situation. Last month I mentioned the resolution that districts are being asked to consider. I have a little more information on that from Nathan Wood, who's our chief for Great Prairie. He said that districts who pass that resolution that dedicates 100% of their media and ed services funds for next year will receive 110% of that amount in services. I referenced that fee for service menu that will be coming out. His plan is, if a district commits to spending their media and ed services money with the AEA, they will actually be able to spend 110% of that. So once that menu comes out, we will have to see what services are offered, how much they will be charged, and we'll have to see what makes the most financial sense for us. We have until July 1st to pass that resolution if we're interested, so we do have a little bit of time yet.
Do they know when that will come out?
We're supposed to be getting it within the next week or so. The open enrollment deadline. This has been reinstated. This is very good news. It's still waiting for the governor's signature, but it's in a bill. It's passed both houses. It should go through. It will take effect again July 1 of 2024. That means the March 1st deadline for grades 1 through 12 will kick back in for next year. The September 1 deadline for kindergarten will start in for this coming year because that will be after July 1. Steve mentioned graduation. I want to draw attention to some staff members who have achieved years of service milestones. We have some people who've been here 5 years, 10, 15, all the way up to some seasoned veterans who've been here 35 years, who shall remain nameless, but who's sitting at the table in front of it. I still include our legislators, even though the session is over. It's a good time to still maintain contact with them if you'd like, so their contact information is still there. And if you take a look at our student count, we held steady from last month, which is good. You can see we started the year serving 515 heads, we ended the year serving 524. That's a trend I'd like to see continue.
Yes.
Ask a question.
Yes.
Why the difference for the open enrollment for just kindergarten versus the rest? I'm just
To
curious.
be honest, I don't know.
I believe,
Because of the, how you have to be in school for first grade, like, is that like the legal age?
could be, and whether you send your kid or not to kindergarten, you may make a late decision, that's why
Right.
they extend the deadline.
That's what
Okay.
I would imagine. That's
I mean,
the
that
only
could
thing
make
I can
sense.
think of.
Curiosity.
Not age related, but.
Because you have to be 5 by September 15th. Yeah.
Oh, why am I like, join us?
Hey guys, Wyatt's here.
Come on, Wyatt.
He says I'm stinky and I'm sweaty.
Come in, Wyatt.
Come
So
in.
Poland don't care.
We don't care.
Nobody's staying here.
We're gonna go ahead and skip back.
So nobody
Spend
was
some
sit up, you might as well just stand
Oh, there you go.
up.
Then you can leave.
Then you can leave. Then you can go home.
Then you can go
Yeah.
home. You
Hey, you're
can,
the only kid that showed up, so good for you.
you can go home.
Hey,
Wyatt was nominated by Mrs. Marshall as geometry teacher. Congratulations.
all right.
Alright, get out of here, you're staying.
Go take a shower.
That's what I said.
Go take a shower. And actually go home.
Go home.
Well, yeah. Everything to eat at home? Yeah, I made stuff. Watch. Just go.
No, without the cases for.
No one can be worried.
Fancy license now. Anything from Mike? Alright, Chen.
Put you in the projector on, let it warm up for a minute. Tracy Jarrett from Great Prairie AEA Science Consultant was here last Wednesday to talk to our 3rd through 5th grade teachers about the Open SciEd curriculum. The staff was very receptive to her presentation and kind of excited to explore further the possibility of moving to that curriculum next year. It would be kind of a process because it's still in development. So 2 units would be released next year and then 2 the following year for the complete grades 3 through 5. So something we're going to continue to look deeper at and move towards in the future. Tomorrow, Ms. Akins and I are going to take the 7th graders to an event called Build My Future. It's being held at SEC. It's a program put on by the Southeast Iowa Builders Association. They work on hands-on construction activities, kind of give kids the opportunity to explore construction careers and see if that's something they'd like to pursue later. Mr. Bowen talked about move-up day, which is going to be at the secondary building on May 23rd. The 5th grade will come over and join us. We'll run through a full schedule. I think each class has about 10 minutes. The 5th grade will get to eat lunch in the lunchroom with the current 6th and 7th graders, so it's kind of an interesting day to see, get a preview of what their year is gonna look like next year. Okay, the last thing I have is our ISAT scores are in, so I'm gonna share briefly some initial findings we have, and then I'll share this presentation with you as well, so you'll have this at your fingertips. So we've had results for Mike, about 2 weeks.
Yep.
So I very quickly compiled the data, sent it out to the teachers, so they've had a chance to look at it, and have done some figuring for totals. So you're going to see summaries of data, both by buildings and by grades. So the first screen you have here are the summaries of the elementary scores. Remember that the elementary kids in grades 3 through 5 are tested. So you see our ELA test scores first. We had 102 kids total at the elementary tested. It's broken down by scores being advanced, proficient, or not yet proficient. So over half of the 3rd graders, the very first time they're taking the test, I'm sorry, not 3rd grade, ELA, that's total, 3rd through 5th. Math, a good chunk of kids are proficient or advanced in math at the elementary. And then science is just grades 5 at the elementary. 5th grade is the only grade that's tested. So we had about 62% that were proficient in science. Building summary for the middle school. We had 101 students tested ELA in math, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Our ELA scores, pretty happy with those, and with our math scores both. A good chunk of our kids were proficient or advanced. And then our science scores, there's 40 8th graders. 8th grade is the only grade that is tested for science. See, about 60% of them are proficient. And then at the high school, 9th through 11th grade, we had 102 kids tested. ELA, math, and then science is just tested in the 10th grade. So 34 kids were tested in 10th grade, and our totals there. So overall, some celebrations to have. Definitely some areas that we need to look at for improvement, but some good celebrations as well. And as we kind of looked at growth from last year to this year, we saw some great things as well too. So now the individual scores per grade level. So again, 3rd grade is the first year they take this test. There's a lot of things to consider. They're taking it on the computer. We do a lot of practice leading up to it, so they get used to using the different tools and such, but when they go, they're on their own and it's the first time, so it's kind of almost, I don't want to say scary, but you just don't know what to expect with the 3rd grade scores. So overall, not bad for the first time. 4th grade, and then 5th grade for ELA. The ELA test is 2 tests combined. It's the reading comprehension where they read the passage and answer the questions, and then there is a writing prompt that they also answer. Those 2 scores get combined for a total ELA score. Math at the elementary. See how those numbers break out? And then science, again, just 5th grade takes science. Middle school, ELA scores. For the inconsistency that we've had at this position, these scores are pretty nice to see, that they're not completely down. So I was kind of pleased to see that with the different people we had in that position over the last several years. Our math scores, a little bit of a dip in 7th grade, but 6th and 8th grade are right up there. And then our science. Again, science is just tested in 8th grade at the middle school. The last set will be the high school scores. 9th grade showed a little decrease. Rebounded again in 10th grade. 11th grade back up just a little bit, not much. math scores. And then our science at 10th grade. Okay, so our next steps. Today during PLC time at the secondary building, one of their tasks was to kind of look at the scores and kind of do a little digging into kind of just looking at them in depth as not just at a glance. So they did that today. We'll do that again at the beginning of the school year to kind of get a feel for where do we need to plan our instruction, where do we need to move forward. We're going to share scores with our parents and guardians. I'll work on getting those printed out to send home. In the past, we've waited until the fall when, I don't want to say more detailed, but scores that had kind of some more historical data, had how they've done in the past on it. We waited until then to send them, but I don't think we're going to. I think we'll send them as they are right now and get them in the hands of our stakeholders as soon as possible. Also, we will continue to work with our literacy, math, and science consultants on the data analysis. Kara and I sat down today already, and we were kind of looking through it at first glance and continue our planning, see if there's any PD needs for next year. That's all I have. Do you have any questions?
You said you're gonna share that presentation?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. You can shut that off.
Okay.
I'm done.
Alright, Brett?
Alright, first off, it's Teacher Appreciation Week this week, so I want to thank all the teachers for their hard work in the classroom and beyond. Takes everybody in the building, not just the classroom teachers, but everyone, to make it work and run smoothly, so thanks everybody for your help and hard work all year long. Summer school, just a reminder, there is no summer school planned this year, but that is something that we can revisit in the future. But just a reminder that that's not happening this summer. Open positions, I've spent a better part of this, the end of April and first part of May here, trying to get second and third grade filled, and we have recommendations today for those. So I'm happy with where those things ended up. We still have some openings in the, art and music for elementary and secondary, as well as some secondary positions. Other things that are coming up, our annual 4th, 5th grade track meet is Tuesday at 1:30. If you're available and you want to come watch, it's usually pretty entertaining. They have a good time, and that's all that matters. PBIS Fun Day is next Thursday. The fun starts at 9 o'clock in the morning on the blacktop. It's always a good time. The last day of school on the 24th, we have our end of the year awards assembly on the blacktop at 9 o'clock. And there have been lots of trips and buses going in and out, the field trips and activities the last week or two. And that'll continue through next week. Coming quickly to a close, but there's still a lot to get done. So that's all I got.
Questions?
You got all my hires there for winter, as well as activities that we have filled for next year. Two things to note. Larry Miller has finished his license. It has been renewed. The state got it back to us yesterday, so he is not pending. He has his renewed license. Jake Frazee, I touched base with him to see where he was at. His license is also at the point where his class is done. His videos that you submit on taping ankles and wrists, he's waiting for the professor to approve those, and then it'll get added to his license. So the class work part of it is actually finished. He's just waiting on that last thing to be graded. Recommendations that I have for this month, I don't have a lot of updates. I just got a couple with the postseason going on here, but I do have in the board packet to order a new scoreboard. We approved the Pepsi funds last month. The first check from them will come July 1st, and NEPCO would like to know if we're proceeding with purchasing, so I sent that out to you. Surplus boys soccer uniforms, they have some that are actually from the very first uniforms we ever had. So we have 2 sets of uniforms after them, the new ones, as well as a backup set. So it's time for us to get rid of those. So Tony has asked me to ask you to surplus those. He would like to try to sell some first before disposing of anything. So if, even if it's only $5 a uniform, just to recover some money from that before he lets it go. But we don't, the past practice is we held uniforms for like 30 years and then we ended up with piles of them. And we've done a pretty good job the last couple of years of trying to get rid of those. So we want to continue to do that. As far as postseason, Zach Harbison qualified today. He will golf at District Golf on Monday. Good for him. It's at Heritage Oaks. We're hosting the second round qualifier for state. So whoever moves on as far as teams and individuals, they'll be going to state and golf. So Zach's got a chance. He's in the group, and that's what you want. Girls postseason golf is going to be Friday at New London. Start time for that is 10 o'clock a.m. Track qualifier is for boys and girls track. It's tomorrow night at Sigourney. It starts at 4 o'clock. And that is both boys and girls, and you would need an electronic ticket for that. And I have it posted on our Facebook page and our Twitter page and our live feed where you can grab that. And then postseason soccer, both teams play on the 13th. Boys will play at Notre Dame at 7:30, and the girls will play at West Branch at 7 o'clock. I think that's everybody. Unless there's any questions.
So Jake is not certified yet.
Not yet. He's got everything's done. He's just waiting on the last thing to be graded, and it'll be over. Since he already has a license, it'll just be in addition to this license.
I understand.
Yeah.
Questions? Okay. Move on to hires. We got a bunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull 10, just vote on separate. And I don't have a problem with it.
What do you want to do?
I'll make a motion to approve all, but I want to pull mine out so I can abstain. Put separate on that.
So I probably need to abstain from Michael's. Correct?
So we should pull.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
I never thought about that.
And I am gonna put one more plug. We need to make sure people are certified before we hire. We're trying to set a standard, and I understand that Jake's certified, but he's not technically certified from the state. So we need to make sure before we bring it to the table that people are certified.
But my concern with that, I get what you're saying, but like teachers, new teachers aren't certified technically until after they graduate.
Correct. So I had asked Eric about that, and he said that teachers and coaches are looked at differently. Because teachers are that's what he told me, because I specifically asked.
We've dealt with this before, sometimes the way the hiring situations are and staffing and trying to get coaches. I mean, and they want to get started on stuff, and we've dealt with it before. And as long as we know it's in good faith and it's pending, I don't have a problem with it.
I only have a problem with it when we make exceptions for other people that we've held them to a different standard. And so if we're either gonna hold everybody to one standard or another standard.
I don't know if we've done that or not. When have we done that? I don't know if since I've been on the board, I don't know that we've done that. I mean, we try to keep it all the same. Yeah, we want to keep everybody, no matter we brought this up, you know, you want to get everybody so we're not going backtracking, but in the same sense, I think you have to have a little bit of freelancing there to get some of these coaches and people going so they can get the program started. I mean, usually what happens, they want to get started, you know, is what we run into. You know, and this may not be a time issue, but sometimes it is. And it's
Well, in
always
like
worked-
this
and
case,
always worked out
it's
for
junior
us.
high girls basketball, it's next fall,
Right.
so.
Right.
But I'm just
Yeah, that
saying,
doesn't
if we're
always-
gonna try to retain people and stay on track and be positive and move in a good direction, we need to have one standard.
Well, do we have, and I not read this policy, do we have an actual physical policy, or is it? Or
That I can't
We
answer.
don't have an actual physical.
You know, then, I mean, we do conditional offers all the time, and it's conditional. You don't get your certification, guess what, you don't have a contract. I mean, I guess to me that's simple, but.
And we put it that way many times, pending their certification, pending they get what they need.
Correct. So if we didn't hire a coach because we told them they had to go through certain steps and we didn't even give them an offer pending certification, that's where I have the problem.
Say that again.
So I'm referring to our track situation this year.
Getting,
I don't understand.
I thought either I'm lost. I don't know, I guess I don't know the situation.
So Todd and Dave were not, they had to finish their pieces
Their
with the
requirements.
state before we would even hire them for their track position.
But that wasn't certification, that was something different. And I understand where you're coming from.
The only thing that we've ever had issues with or discussed is hiring, getting ahead of the ball and hiring, you know, I know we had issues in the past where we didn't really want to hire winter, fall, you know, or the fall, or the winter sports, you know, now. That was an issue, but we always worked through that, and once we get it explained to us, and, you know, once again, I don't have a problem with it, but I understand what you're saying. You want to keep the same thing, but as long as it's pending to me, and we know the certification process is there, and it's just a little formality.
I mean, I was hired this way for golf pending, so, and I've gone to class something like that, you know, that.
If something comes up, I mean, and you're concerned about something, yeah, we all want to know about it.
Well, that's my concerns.
Right, okay.
So, and I do legit have a concern with that.
So we want to get a motion.
There is a motion to.
Oh, there is a motion.
Yeah, but we took out 8 and
Oh, you
10.
took out 8 and 10.
I'll second the motion.
Motion second to take out 8 and 10, Kenny, Michael, and everyone else to be hired. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, just go back. These separately.
I'll make a motion to hire Mike Horton, assistant boys basketball coach.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next one.
Make a motion to approve Penny Marlette for junior high boys test.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Go to B, contract adjustments.
All right, the first one, Barb Dunham, we are recommending that we move her to 1.0 FTE, which means moving her to full-time. She's gonna take over the ELL responsibilities for both buildings. She's also paid for out of 2 categorical funds, ELL and TAG, which is very limited ways you can spend them anyway. So we're making use of the funds that are already earmarked for those purposes. Do you want to do them separately or together?
You have to.
Yeah, Michael's on there.
Oh, yeah, we will. You're right.
I'll make a motion to adjust Barb Dunham to full-time.
Second.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
All right, the second one, Michael Horton, we're recommending moving to 1.0 FTE. He is going to take care of our business and industrial tech CPE strands. So we'd like to move him to full-time so he can do that.
I'll make a motion to approve Michael Horton to 1.0 FTE.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next one's gonna be resignation, it's gonna be Candace Moore, so that's why that's on there.
And that, we need to know, no late arrival this morning, that's why it was not listed on the agenda, but we do need that quickly, so that's why you see it's not, at least try and do it.
I'll make a motion to accept Candace Moore's resignation.
So, you say second, sorry. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, new business, consideration of approved list of proposed fundraisers.
I believe you just have the one junior high baseball team, put on for the high school team.
Make a motion to approve the fundraisers.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, consideration of approved board policies.
All right, these are part of our regular rotation. You're looking at how many years we keep records, that we are going to have a liability insurance program, that we are going to have a school food program. One thing I want to note, just I'm sure you're all aware of this, but that we don't lunch shame kids. If kids have a negative balance, they still get fed just like every other kid. We don't penalize kids for the financial situation that's out of their control. There are some states where that's allowed. We don't do that. So I have no recommended changes. I'd ask you to approve them.
I make a motion to approve the board policies F08 to 710.4.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, consideration of approved second reading of amended board policies.
All right, you saw these last month. I'm having you do a second reading simply because IASB completely rewrote the policy. They say they amended it. No, they didn't. They rewrote it. So if you approve the second reading, it will go in the manual and become official.
I make a motion to approve the board policies 704.6 and 704.6R1.
Second. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, consideration of approved potential 23 graduates.
All right, we have some kids who would really like to get their diplomas. So we'd ask that you approve this list pending that they complete all their requirements.
Make a motion to approve the potential 2023 graduates pending that they meet the requirements.
Second.
Second, all
2024.
24.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Hey, I just read it.
Look at that. Sarah's going, wait a minute here.
We get two diplomas.
Okay. They're all super seniors.
You all favor of that?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, great. Consideration of approved paper.
You got the pricing in there, I think it's $30 a case for the AA consortium. Did a rough count today. I think we're going to probably need at most 200 cases. I don't even think we'll hit 200, but a maximum of 200 cases will be $6,682.
Is this something we do every year with the AA?
How have the prices been from year to year? What were they last year? Did we get some kind of deal or
Well, we went back to the AA last year after we had online publishing for several years.
Okay,
They didn't even come close
right,
last year.
yeah, that's what it was. Okay, that's what it was.
I'll make a motion to approve the paper purchase through the AEA consortium, or whatever it's called.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Our consideration of approved purchase of campus scoreboards.
Brandon, what do we need to know?
It's new.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
can you re-explain what you explained last month
About
about
the money's
this?
coming
Because,
from?
yeah, you were talking about this
Yeah,
last
so
month.
Pepsi, our agreement with Pepsi, I believe, is for $30,000. The scoreboards are 26 and some change. There might be a little bit of electrical work or getting them hung that, might make up the rest of that. But the way that works is Pepsi gives us a lump sum check the first year of, I think it's 12 or
So I think it was 12,000.
12, it's 12,000 something July 1st, and then every year they're going to give us a few $1,000s until the 5 year is up. It's pretty standard practice. It's what we've usually replaced our scoreboards with. I think last time we got the scores table, and then Jim, I think, is what the last Pepsi purchase was. But basically, we have my rotation will be like the gym. And the next one will be the football field, the next one will be the softball field, the next one will be the baseball field, because that's the age of the scoreboards. The ones in the practice gym are newest of new. I think they're 7 years old, so they obviously will be at the very, very tail end of that. We do have to front some money at first for obviously to purchase the scoreboard, because they don't give you all $30,000 up front, because they want to make sure you're going to continue to sell Pepsi in your concession stand and whatnot. But we will recover the money. So.
And this has been stuff we did before, right? This is all.
This is typically what their money goes towards. Until the scores, it was always just scoreboard.
Is there anything you can get to get to that $30,000 range? Any extra software?
I'll be 100% honest with you. It's $26,000 because I got literally every bell and whistle out of the scoreboard.
Well, I looked at these papers. It looks like you've got
We got the wings that go on the sides that'll say like the player's number, the fouls and whatnot. And I believe that also translates to wrestling. I think you can put the weights up there and so on and so forth. Instead of it just having the slide that says guest and home, I've got it where you can put arrows and Indians or Wapello and Highland or whatever. So
is this going to take another duty out?
It might require another person. So we have the she likes to refer to as the assistant athletic director, who says that she would be willing to help run that.
No such positions.
I would say that more than likely, if obviously if we can get enough workers, we can do it for junior high and high school games. But I would anticipate you're more likely to fill all those positions for high school. Yeah, it does have those as additional things, and I know that costs more money, and you look at it and go, man, I spent money on this. But I'll tell you what, as a coach, it's nice to be able to look up there and get like a third opinion on who's got what fouls that are in the game at that moment. So it has its advantages beyond just the aesthetics and people in the crowd wanting to know who's got how many points. The other side of the gym, the smaller scoreboard, is essentially the same thing. We're just replacing that with a new one. But again, I believe it has where you can put the name of the team up there. But that's the only difference between that side and the other. Once I get to that too, I should mention there is a thing that's supposed to go on top of that will say like Wapello High School. And then that little section below, that's going to be below the scoreboard between the wings, is probably going to have sponsored by Pepsi. Yeah. We haven't got the artwork design yet because we're simply just getting it built at this point.
How did they reach out to you for this, or could you go to other places like Under Armour, Gator, different things, and reach out to them?
We've just always had a Pepsi contract. Most schools have a Pepsi or Coke contract, and that's what they use it for. I mean, it's pretty standard practice for this Coca-Cola. Yeah. yes.
No, we're branching out.
Yeah, I mean, there are some out there that do that, yes. But we've had a contract with Pepsi for as long as I've been here 20 years. I think if we switch brands of soft drink, our Booster Club president would have a freak out moment. So
I'm not sure we need to have that freak out moment.
We are.
I'm not sure we need to. Yeah.
Look, I'm always open to look at anything. Brands, whatever.
Yeah. Right.
I make a motion to approve the gym scoreboard quote. For $26,072.60.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can I have Brandon, is that after July 1st? Those will ride before July 1st, right?
No, I'll just talk to him about that when I call.
I didn't know that.
Consideration for negotiating agreement with Wapello Education Association.
All right, we completed our negotiations with the Teaching Association, so thank you to Karen and Kenny, who served on the district team along with Eric and myself. And the teachers were represented by Dawn and Sarah. The tentative agreement is in your packet. Dawn told me that the Teaching Association did ratify this. We agreed on normal step and lane movement for the salary schedule. We agreed to the establishment of a labor management committee with the following stipulations that are spelled out in there. We are reducing the teacher contract from 190 to 184, and we're doing that by removing the 6 designated paid holidays, so the amount of time on duty doesn't change, it's a paperwork change. We agreed to 0% on the base. This is in light of the salary minimums, the TSS infusion of cash that we are receiving. We agreed to a career increment step, and the logic behind this was to take care of our teachers who have been here the longest time, but who are getting the smallest increase through that TSS infusion of funds. And if I'm saying something wrong, correct me on this. And then the duration of the contract is going to run from July 2024 through the end of June 2025.
I make the motion to approve the negotiated agreement with.
One second.
Okay.
Did we need to make an addendum on this due to the possibility of changing contract amount of days if we went to 4 days?
We talked about that. We didn't include the language in here, but we all understand
open
that we'll have to.
renegotiate.
Yes.
Yes.
We discussed that.
Okay.
Yep.
Carry on.
I'm gonna start over with my sentence. I make a motion to approve the negotiated agreement with Wapello Educational Association.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Consideration to approve pay application number 3, respective.
This is Brandon number 3, 158,000, so a little over 600 to go. We did not have a date last week. Playing got tied up in another commitment, so it's been 3 weeks since we've been in there. But it doesn't look like a lot of progress from the outside, but there is stuff happening on the inside. You just can't see. So I believe he's getting ready for paint. Should be getting ready for paint here shortly.
They did some outside painting of the wall today.
Yeah, you can see one there.
I would just like to note it's very nice that he gives such a detailed.
Yeah, I like it.
So that 158, 66, 47 is the price.
Yes.
So moved. So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consideration set time and date for the next meeting. This is
It is, and I'd like to thank our activities director for scheduling ball games every single night of the week.
June 26th is perfect.
I just went through this so we can.
June 26th. It's wide open.
The calendar on my end,
Sunday.
if you look at Tuesday,
Oh, no, it is, sorry, I was in May.
if you look at Tuesday, June 18, I see no games on the calendar.
I can do that. I have a conflict.
No, okay?
All those.
I have nothing on the 13th.
17.
All games, Meepo, 5:45 p.m.
The third?
You do? You scheduled that?
Say, I stayed away from the 12th, Kenny, right? We had this conversation that night.
We have a high school baseball game at night
Sure has a team.
On the 17th.
on the 12th.
You could have your meeting at say 3:30, you can be at the game by 5:30.
I have nothing tonight. You have nothing.
We just take the day off of work.
What do we have for night?
High school baseball and
High
softball.
school here. It's about the 13th.
13th is good.
It's wide open for.
Cody has a ball game at Waco, but I mean,
We have high
There's
school
no high school.
softball and junior high games.
The 13th has no high school baseball.
Right. But it does
Yeah,
have junior
high
high.
It has junior high baseball, softball, and high school softball.
Did we do it?
We just do it on the
day
Saturday.
last year?
No.
We did.
we just do it on a Saturday. For a Sunday.
Sunday at 7 a.m.
Steve said.
Let's make it so it's inconvenient.
Yeah.
Inconvenient for bowling.
For his final meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's make it inconvenient.
June
Which-
sixth, June sixth.
High school, baseball.
High school baseball.
Is June
I'm
5th
anything
too
but the
soon?
weekend of the 8th.
June 4th.
Long weekends.
High school and junior high.
June fifth, what's on June fifth?
High school softball,
Right.
or baseball, we don't high school baseball. too.
I can do it as
There's
early
high
as
school
5
baseball on
o'clock.
June fifth?
If we need.
Oh, June fifth? No, just high school softball. You could,
I'm coaching on the fifth.
Okay.
Does it help if we do it earlier?
No. Because the scheduler over here.
Well, where's your game? Where's the game
It's
at?
at Columbus Junction.
Shannon's fault. What time is
Do we
it?
really,
What time?
really wanna be there?
What time is it?
Brandon, you come to one of those scheduling meetings one
Oh,
time and you
5:30.
see what it's like.
I was coaching that game there, what can it be? 7:30.
They're not fun.
How long's the game?
Hour
An
and 15 minutes.
Right.
I can be started if I have to. So.
On the fifth? Is that what you said?
Yeah, but somebody said the 6th was open, didn't they?
The sixth, we have high school baseball at Hillcrest.
You try. 7:30 on the 5th.
I don't know.
On the what?
The fifth?
June 5th? That's a Tuesday?
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday the 5th.
7:30, you said?
Okay.
Probably boost that game to 5:50.
We can start whenever you want.
Yeah.
We can start at 5. I don't care.
I'm good for 5:30.
Not in the
You
game.
have to go work. Oh, you mean,
We're not talking about that.
All right.
I'll even make 4:30 work if I have to.
June 5, 7:30, is that what we landed on?
Same.
Yeah.
I can,
Okay.
same, take five.
I have to go to these.
I said I can.
Make a motion for Wednesday, June 5th at 7:30.
Second.
First and second, all in favor? Opposed? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
I was gonna say,
Fifteen.
actually.
Not bad.
Yes.